Well, she's saying lime mortar has a certain life. I believe that it's not in that bad a shape. I mean, you get back in behind, again, an inch and a half back, I think your mortar's still in good shape. We've run across buildings that you could literally just take anything and it would fall out, it'd be like dirt, like Brooks County Courthouse, for instance. That one was bad. But this is...
So the reason I was asking was, I think you mentioned that brick, I don't know how that courthouse was designed, but it has more than just one layer of bricks, has 4 or 5. Okay, and if you're only going to do the first one, how do we know the one behind there hasn't collapsed or failed? Or
it's all tied together.
As you said, there's a life to that mortar. Because it's not just built by the facing brick. If we got 4 or 5 bricks, which I don't know the design of it, but
right.
Say it's built by 4. I mean, who's to say that those other 4 that are behind what you just fixed isn't collapsing or isn't bad?
You would have indications of showing that, and the way of these, the way they nowadays, I don't know if you're familiar with construction. We have wall ties that you stick out. They didn't have wall ties, so one brick is laid like this, which is called a shiner. And you'll look in your building, you'll have a brick laid like this. Okay, this brick connects to the next width wall. Then the next course up, that one sits on top of that. So all these walls are tied in as a mass by the fact that the brick are turned edgeways, which is called a header. But they're 8 inches. So that's how they will put, instead of using wall ties, they use the brick to tie the walls all together. So they're, every 6th course, I think you're going to see the brick is tied into the next width, to the next width, to the next width. And they repeat that process every 6 courses. That's how they tie this mass in together. So it can't collapse in the center because it's tied together from the outside to all the way to the inside, and it just rotates itself back and forth. I've never seen it where it collapses in the center because of, especially brick, because of that process that they use to tie the building together. The mortar isn't dead as I would say dead. I think it's still in mass. It would still take us a chisel to dig it out. So I think that mortar still has life in it, and it's all compressed into a solid mass as a unit. That's what's really great about masonry, and you can use it for structural because it's mass. You may have a brick fail here, but it's transferred throughout the whole mass of the building. So that one little brick is nothing, even if it's 2 or 3 bricks. It's all distributed equally. Now again, I go back to your wings is, guys, if y'all had a porch put on your house, okay, and you just tied into your walls on your front of your house, and you put a double porch on there. Well, your wall in your house isn't designed, okay? It's designed to carry that load originally. Now you've added all this weight on top of that, your wall on the front of your house, and that's what will make it sag and come down, and that's what's happening, I think, over here. Because you've put the weight on there that's not really designed to load bearing.
So wherever there's a crack, and I'm asking this question, I'm sure the public wants to hear it too.
Sure.
Yeah, and I know what you're talking about, load bearing walls and all that. But I'm talking about the brick right now, and if there's a hairline crack or a good sized 1/8 of an inch crack on brick, just like concrete, if you pour concrete over broken concrete or concrete that's already been cracked, it's going to crack back in there. It don't matter what you put, ceramic tile, don't matter what you put on, it's going to come back out. It's going to crack.
Well,
so, but like if you're just fixing the facing, and if there's a crack, you're going to go beyond that to check behind the brick to see if it didn't keep going through the wall.
Yes, if it's a big enough crack that if it's an
What's a big enough crack?
Well, 1/8. No, we're not going to be back to the back of the wall, back of the crack. We can inject it. We can get an injection material right now. That's kind of what we're doing on this mission thing. We're injecting all the cracks. The foundation is dropped, and you've got a lot of cracks. We're coming in and injecting the big major cracks. The small cracks we're not. But if you're usually not. If you're going to have a small hairline crack in a brick, doesn't necessarily mean that crack's going to go all the way through the building, okay? For it to be really bad, you'd have some settlement, and you're going to have a big major crack like you do on some of these. It's very obvious that this crack needs to be repaired. We've got to go back in there and tear into it and find out what. Just a hairline crack could be a thermal crack from the brick or something, or a weak spot in that brick. It could be.
But if it's a big enough crack, you'll do
yeah,
that.
and you're right. But if you see a foundation and you see a I don't know, do you do foundations or something? Okay.
Yeah.
If you see a hairline or you do a shrinkage crack, does that mean the whole slab's no good? No, it's just you've got a little shrinkage crack in there. It's not a major problem that and you got a big crack you pour over it? Yeah, you're exactly right.
That's normally, basically what I was asking.
Yeah, brick's a little different than foundations because foundation is sitting on the ground and you get a lot of movement this way. Picture a vertical wall, it's a mass this way. So it gets moved from what's down there. Whereas if you have a slab, it's sitting on top of this ground. It may move over there, it may move over here, because you're sitting on top of ground in all kinds of weather dictates your concrete slab versus it doesn't dictate as much because we're not on the ground, but this wide.
But since we've had so many problems with this one, and because of the wing, we have had it walk a lot, so it could have
Oh, yeah.
been damaged.
Sure, yeah, and then we're going to have to tear into the major cracks and fix that. Again, we can inject it. There's some stuff that we use that we get out of Virginia's Edison crack injection material. It fills up the voids and it locks it back together, and it's got micro balloons in it, and it goes into the tiniest little cracks. It'll come out the other side. So it's you know, it's different processes we do to repair the cracks without having to totally tear into it. You know, just inject it and make it go back to mass. And mass is the key, I think, on this whole building, especially in masonry. It's mass. You know.
But the brick in the hole, they're good, because I've seen some of them get all sandy, and these are good bricks.
I think so, yeah. I'm gonna go, she said she's pointed out an area. I wanna, if you've got an area where water off your roof, through your window or something has constantly been on top of this, yeah, now we need to go look at that and see what it's done. But as a whole, I think your brick is fine. Again, like I told Pete here, I'm sorry, but if you do decide to tear this building down, please let me know so I can get the brick. I need the brick on other restoration projects. Honestly, I really do.
Don't talk like that.
Well, I'm just letting you know how much faith I've got in your brick.
No negativity.
I need it bad, really bad. There was 30,000 in Yorktown, but the guy got rid of it, and I needed
When
that
did
pearl
you do your
bird.
restoration evaluation? Was that in '07?
Around-
5 and 6.
Okay, so, and how long would that kind of environment need to be in place to deteriorate those bricks and those other things? Because like, there's bat guano in the attic.
Yeah.
So obviously there's some way that the environment is getting into the attic of the building.
Yes, sir.
That wasn't there in '05 when you did your evaluation.
Bat guano has been in the attic since 1980.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And I can give you a historical perspective on this whole thing
Well,
if you like.
I'm just asking, does that make a difference in your evaluation of how, you know, if the brick has been exposed to other environmental issues over 5 years, does that change it, or does it take 20 years before it causes a problem?
Bad guano?
No, well, the water.
Oh, you're talking about the elements?
Yes, sir.
Not necessarily, sir. I mean, if you're going to
Okay.
expose this brick, I mean, you know, if you go and take the plaster off and expose it, it's going to be there for hopefully 100 years.
Right.
So
I just
the
didn't
elements,
change
the
circumstances.
the only thing that breaks it down and things is your exhaust off your cars and things like that. It has a bearing on anything out there. That's what you got to watch. You got to maintain the building, keep it clean, and keep the acids off of it. You know, because that will break down anything you got there. So.
Okay, but 5 years isn't that big of a deal in the lifetime of this building.
One other question for Mrs. Wall. Uptown here,
Excuse me, just
there's,
really quick, James has got to step out. Carol, please note the time that James is leaving the meeting. He'll be back if you can.
I got some trailers in with the county, I gotta go take care of.
We've got to
yeah,
accept those.
uptown here, there's a building,
Got it, Carol?
brick building, built with solid brick walls. And the foundation for that is a 4 by 12 cypress timber laid down there in the ground. Okay, if you find that under this courthouse, is that gonna cause a problem for putting your concrete under there?
Wouldn't expect to find it under a 3-story building. Is that building a 3-story building?
No, it's too.
I've seen wood under a lot of buildings, but not a 3-story. We found wood under the Kendall County courthouse, not under the main walls.
I mean, I don't expect it's there.
I would think not, because we're gonna dig under it anyway. It'd probably be easier to dig that lumber out than it would the dirt anyway, so they help us.
But that is possible on the other.
Yeah, I would think, there could be, we have seen that before. We see cedar posts sawn in half, cedar, most of it's cypress. But in Kendall, we saw cedar, it's crazy. Architect didn't believe it, so he had it tested or something.
When this one puts it.
Okay, my question for Mr. Fisher was, the opening statement, you said last worked on this project in 2007. You said you designed this to 90% stage.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, what does 90% stage mean?
It means that you've gotten the basic systems developed and designed. You're being able to show what needs to be done. You detailed out some of the work, not all of it. You've written specs, but they need to be edited again once the final details are done. It's a typical point where the building undergoes, or the design undergoes usually a review process by the owners, by a funding agency or something like that, so that they have a good idea of what the building is going to entail, and that you can get a pretty good cost estimate prepared for the building.
Is that what 10% contingency fee is supposed to cover, or what?
No, a 10% contingency fee is something that, well, a contingency fee is something that is put into a project cost or a budget to allow for unknowns that aren't established. Now, it could be because the project's not fully designed or engineered, but it also could be regarding these unknowns that we were discussing with the attorney, of things that come up during construction. And so I think those are going to be more of what you would find at this point in time, not so much what's related to the 90%.
Does your estimate in figures in '07 include the foundation cost?
We're not supposed to be having public comments, and I can't see anybody's face out there, but that didn't sound like Mr. Hunt or anybody else or Ms. Fleming. Please quit being, let's not do that. Let's just finish up our presentation. Where are we going with this?
Well,
Finish?
yeah, if there are no other questions, that's the information that we wanted to present. And we thank you all nicely.
Thank you.
And I thank you for coming down. And like I said, the whole point of this whole deal is we're trying to get information out to the public, and you're more than welcome to come present in Commissioner's Court. I don't go anywhere else, and I won't be bullied to go anywhere else, but I will always be here. So please come present if you have facts you want to get out to the public. The next item on the report, Ms. Frankie, where are you?
I'm here.
You still here? Are you awake? You here with us? You had your own morning.
It feels good to stand up.
Stand up and stretch, Ms. Frankie.
Okay, thank you.
Tell us what you got.
Okay, the tax collection.
Thank you, Mr. Hunt.
This is a tax collection through August 31st. Total taxes collected, $2,501,975.85. The balance of the current row is $54,866.31. The percentage of collection is 97.8541. On the delinquent tax collection for the county, $93,277.11. The balance of the delinquent row, $157,206.68. The percentage of collection, 37.2388. Road and Bridge Special, total taxes collected, $233,230.80. The balance of the current row, $5,093.40. The percentage of collection, 97.8637. Delinquent row, total taxes collected, $7,242.22. The balance of the delinquent row, $11,688.83. Percentage of collection, 38.2558. Emergency Fire District, total taxes collected, $148,174.90. The balance of the current row, $3,450.92. And the percentage of collection, 97.7241. Delinquent taxes collected today, $3,906.20. The balance of the delinquent row, $4,669.33. And percentage of collection, 45.5505.
Good job, Ms. Frankie. Thank you. The next one's you, guys. It's in there, right? I'll get the one Fisher.
Thank you.
You guys have it? You'll have it, it's your. Yes, sir, that's it.
My apologies.
Carol, will you please note that James is back? I'm sorry, I apologize. We're on the treasurer's report. What's in there, Pete? Is it not? Yes, sir.
I have 1:30, I have a doctor's appointment in San Antonio, I didn't realize it was this late. It's already 12:20, so I'm gonna have to excuse myself.
12:30.
Do y'all need me for anything else?
No? Stay safe and be careful.
Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't know it was this late. I got a 1:30 doctor's appointment in San Antonio. I'm probably gonna be late already, so
Be careful, James.
with y'all's permission, I'm gonna excuse myself. No, I always get stopped in Floresville, so.
Thanks for sharing.
Excuse me.
Sorry. Vi, is there anything on here out of the ordinary that I'm not seeing?
No, ma'am, all is well.
I saw it, I looked at it yesterday, so I don't have any questions. Well, actually, I looked at it. So, I vote to approve the treasurer's report as presented. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
And again, this report is my report only, does not satisfy anyone else's report.
Why, are you wanting me to capture something in my motion?
No, I'm just making a general statement.
Payment of bills is next on the agenda? We're still having a meeting in here, Sheriff.
What's this deal from Jericho? Site work over there?
No. What? Remember that hole of water we had?
This is reflective of the whole water.
That's what,
Maybe you didn't hear the peak. This first bill from Terracon, do you know anything about that?
Where is it listed?
It's
the very first item.
Right on the first page, right on top. That's, they came down and looked at the water in the basement. We dug a hole on the other end of the building.
The basement, the courthouse?
On the basement of the canal, they dug a hole on this end of the building, it's dry, the other end had water standing there, and they came down. They sent a letter recommending we put authorize them to design a French drain. They sent some letters back and forth. Now they recommend that we put clay cap around there, et cetera. That is under an agreement that y'all signed with them a couple of years ago. They're, in addition to the annex project, they are a consultant. So they ready to go. We'll authorize them to examine the site here and do some soil testing, clay cap around there. So they sent us a bill.
There's a big old hole of water, and it's over there on the side by the, right by the church.
Do you remember them being hired as a consultant?
Yeah, that name rings a bell, sure does. I just thought we were done with it.
I thought we should be done with it too, but
When we had to have the water assessed, I mean, it couldn't just be sitting there.
that's the one they said they forfeited.
Sorry?
Next bill, they said they forfeited.
They did say that they would one, and I can't remember which one, and I'm sitting here trying to think of that as you are, and there's one that they did say they'd forego, because Pete questioned them really hard about the fact that this was an agreement made a long time ago that they should be doing some, he's real good at shaving bills. You noticed that?
Well, if they're in the motion, if y'all want to hold payment on that one, we can approve the rest and withhold that one.
Can we look at it and see? And we can pay it the next bill cycle, which would be, what, at the end of the month?
Yes.
Can we hold that? Do we just need to put that in the motion?
Yes.
Okay.
So then we hold in the
payment.
Terracom then?
This first one.
The Terracom?
Because Pete asked him to take some,
Now I'll make a motion that we both pay Terracom. Pay all the rest of the bills.
I think we're requesting some little bigger print since we're all kind of aging here.
because he had that thing he used to carry.
Oh, you just have to humble yourself and put on some glasses.
Well, Tracy had a
Didn't
thing.
really answer that question.
It would kill a whole bunch more trees. I'm sure we could probably increase the font. But I would have
Miss
to
Stinson,
check on
Sheriff, we're still having a meeting here. Please, we don't need to be doing this. We're still having a meeting. Meeting's still going on.
Can you read this without glasses?
Uh-huh. I don't know glasses,
You're younger than I am.
but I have all my contacts.
Oh.
Pete, was your motion to pay the bills, you did have enough for Terracom?
And I'm thinking that we're going to.
Well, wait a second. Let's get it straight before you second. Let's make sure that's what Pete did.
Motion that we pay bill with the exception of Terracom. Now second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Y'all initial one for me, please. I dated it. The next item on the agenda is number 22. It's to report of fees, fines, money collected by the following departments: the county clerk, the district clerk, county attorney, justice of the peace, juvenile department, special projects, road and bridge permit. Tracy, you want to start? I saw you got a big number you're real proud of.
The road and bridge. Okay, with the boring and the entrances and the water lines and what have you, this month we've taken in $31,680 worth of permits. From August the 3rd to September the 12th. That's my report.
I have one from Ms. Sweezy. You want to read yours?
For the month of August, the total money that we collected was $95,153.50, and $80,844 of that goes to the county.
Mr. Busman, you want to read yours? I got it right here. Left it up here. Oh, you got it?
Audit for the month of August, restitution for our hot checks was $3,716.48. The court cost for that period of time was $1,802 for a grand total of $43,423.05. Last year it was $34,824. $44.76, so we've increased it $9,000.
Bobby, you want to read yours? You want me to read it? You have one over there?
I've got it back here and all. In my criminal fees and all, we turned into the county 5398.45. My civil fees, we turned into the county 17,877.09.
Is there anybody else here that has their report? Those are the only ones I have. Is that you? Can I see you, Sharon? Hey, Sharon, I didn't even know you were back there. That board's covering yet. Sorry. I know I'm the shortest one in here. I'm sorry, Tracy. Go ahead.
For August 2010, we've had 9 determination development applications totaling $225. For our on-site sewage facility permits, we've had 7. Permit total was 970. Inspector's portion 500, TCQ's portion 50, the county's portion $420. I will be submitting the rest of August's report to you with the September.
Thank you. Anybody else? Does anybody have the JPs? Did anybody get those? I don't have those. JPs? I don't have those. Next item on the agenda is to discuss, approve, disapprove, requesting reports, fines, monies collected from each department to be included along with Commissioners' Court minutes, so they may be a matter of record and available to the general public along with the minutes. Reports to be included in monthly regular second Tuesday meeting, and that's myself. And the reason that's on here is usually we were getting these reports all the time, and then we weren't getting them, and somebody told me that they were turned into the treasurer. And, which is fine, that's all good and fine, but we're saying we're getting them, and then it looks like we're getting them in the minutes, and we're referring to something that's not happened, and then when you get to the treasurer's report, her report's different. It's the report she does, and she doesn't break down everything individually for us. So, if we're gonna say we're getting those, let's make sure we're getting those and making them available to the public, or it looks like we're just putting something on the agenda and we're not doing it. We're referring to something that's not happening.
Okay, you're talking about my office. Can I talk on that?
No, you pull in your own report. That's what I'm saying. This is yours. This is nobody else's.
Right, but they have to give me monthly reports in order for me to report the stuff to the state comptroller's office.
Yes, ma'am.
In the past, there has been some JPs that Judge Kendall would read their report, so I don't know why you're saying in the past they weren't getting them. They were getting
We are getting some, but not all of them.
Okay.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
you're pulling my office and saying that I'm getting reports and.
No. When I ask for them, they say they give them to the treasurer's office, but the problem on here, Vi, is like the county clerk and the district clerk, they're not separated. And sometimes when people pick up the treasurer's report, they don't pick it up and read it and say, this is the stuff that we collected. It has nothing.
I put it all in the general fund. There's no way for me to separate.
That's what I'm saying. It's not your job to do it.
That's exactly right. It's
That's
not
what
my
I'm saying,
job.
Vi.
Okay. Well,
I'm not.
Sound like you're trying to say that I'm not
I'm
doing my
not.
job.
Vi, this is. I'm telling you, if you want me to capture something else in that motion, I will. I'm not. I'm just saying this is your report only.
Yes,
You're not
exactly.
reporting for anybody else.
Exactly.
This is your report.
Exactly.
So you're not reporting for the JPs. You're not reporting for the county clerk or the district clerk. So what we're asking is, we're saying we are collecting those reports,
Right.
and we're not. So all I'm saying is we need to
You
clarify.
dragged my office into it. which
Because
makes
somebody
sound
else said that they were turning them into you.
They are.
Okay,
They
and
are
that
turning
they're
them
reflected
into
on your
because
report.
they're
But this is
required
just
to.
your report. That's what I'm
Exactly.
pointing out. This is just your report.
Exactly.
Okay, this is Vi's. This is not everybody else's.
Right.
So
It's
what
the
I'm
money
saying.
that they bring to me, but it's not separated out. So
Right.
They are bringing.
But see, we're saying we're collecting those.
We are collecting those.
I'm saying that we're getting those reports in Commissioner's Court.
Okay.
I'm putting it on the agenda like we're getting those reports, and we're not getting them.
There has been in the past.
Right. There you go. That's my point exactly, Vi. There has been in the past. So what we're asking is we're asking to get those back.
Okay.
That's what we're asking.
Well, I don't see any people that need to be reporting that here, so.
Right. So
We're gonna have to
it's,
let
we're
them
not
know that.
we're not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Okay.
You
So
just dragged my office into
you
it.
have your report. Your report's been passed, accepted, whatever. You're good.
Because I'm required by monthly.
You're good. Well, you're still good. I'm not changing my mind.
Oh, that's good.
Okay. All I'm asking is that we be able to get the other reports that we're supposed to get and include them in these minutes. So it doesn't say that we're getting them, because it looks like we're getting them if you read the agenda in the minutes, and we're not. Do you see what I'm saying?
No, I see what you're saying.
All right. Does everybody else see what I'm saying?
Now, what is each department, this language here is will.
It's the ones that are listed above, the ones that we've always asked for them, but for a while we have not been getting them. But it looks like on the minutes we're getting them. Do you see what I'm saying?
District clerk to justice of the peace.
If there's something else we need to add, if I'm leaving something off, please bring it to my attention, we'll add it. So, you know, help me out here.
We're throwing your life around.
I'm scared the one you throw
Well,
for.
if the cart would just, I mean, perhaps just suggest that the reports that are turned into the treasurer.
No.
Those are the same reports that you're.
I would rather we get them, George.
Right, I'm just saying, you just get a copy of the same report, so that they provide a copy to the commissioner's court and the treasurer's office. Would that solve your problem?
You think it's proper that they be presented in Commissioner's Court, or you just get a report?
It's always been on this agenda, and they've always presented them. And a lot of times, if they wouldn't come present them, they would fax them to us, and then it all stopped. But we were still putting it on the agenda. So we're inferring, we're saying that we're doing something we're not doing. That's my concern.
If it is a regular agenda item, require them to send in reports that we give them.
Exactly.
We're going to note in today's report that we received no report from the Justice of the Peace, the Juvenile Department, or from the District Clerk today.
Yes, you
No,
did.
promise
Yes,
you.
you did.
No, the district clerk did.
She did it.
All right, excuse me.
I'm after you.
Got your eyes on Pete? So anyway, that's all I'm asking. And so it doesn't look like we're doing something we're not doing.
Okay.
So does anybody, anybody else have any questions of why that's on there? Okay.
George, are you up to speed with this?
You have an agenda request to accept reports from different county officials. Some of the reports are turned in and prepared and presented, some of them haven't. And you just want the record to reflect accurately whose reports were turned in and whose reports weren't.
And they do, because typically in the minutes it will say, see attached reports, and that's what's filed into the minutes. So if you pull the minutes of today, it will show the reports that were turned in.
Right, and so like when we did it last time, it doesn't say see attached anything. So we need to make a note that nothing was presented or was something presented, because in the past minutes, on the minutes of reports of fines, fees, and money collected, that would be number 26, and that's the one that I brought up earlier.
You didn't say anything?
It just restates the item.
Okay.
Okay? And I don't want these items restated and people say that we're inferring to something and saying something that it's not. If she says see attached or whatever, which is what we discussed earlier, I'm fine by that, but we also need to point out which ones are there or which ones are not there.
Okay.
I mean, this came up, the questions the auditors asked me, if you're saying that and stuff like that, why is that not included?
Right. It makes it appear that the record would be in the court minutes that there was a report presented, and then if you have to go look at that report 5 years later, it's not there.
But it's in the minutes.
Let me go back to number 22. The one that comes to my mind that is not there is the county auditor.
Yes.
You got everybody else, you got the county clerk, district clerk, county attorney, just the, and
But okay,
treasurer always
now,
already.
we don't have the JPs either, okay? We don't have anybody. This is what I'm saying. We're not gonna pick on one specific, deal.
Yeah, I mean, look,
And
we're gonna get them, let's get them all.
okay, but listen to me. We are still having a public meeting, okay? And there's not gonna be a dispute in this courtroom. It's just not gonna happen. What anybody says out there is
It's called
fine.
discussion.
No, but I heard a yes out there, and we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna pick on each other in here. We're gonna come in here and be nice. There's no reason to come in and force beliefs, bully, do anything. We're gonna be nice. We're gonna have public meetings. So every department that's not on here, okay, all we're asking is to request that those be on here. That's what we're asking, okay? It can be done in a very nice way. We don't have to be
Okay,
loud
so
or anything.
are you in agreement that we should?
I'm the one that put it on here, so I think it should be there.
Should the county auditor be there or not, Judge?
Did she used to turn in a report? Did you used to turn in a report, or was it your payment of bills? What is the deal? Do you need to turn in?
There has not been a monthly trial balance or balance sheet turned in the past. Judge Saxon and I have discussed that, and that will begin to be done.
Do you want to address that, Judge Saxon? You're sitting back there. I mean, do you, so we know?
It is a requirement that the auditor make a report, and the auditor will be making a report. She was trying to get through the budget cycle And I think we had as a start time to make sure that it happened the first of the year.
Okay.
But if y'all want it sooner, I can instruct her to make you a report next month.
Okay, is this gonna be a monthly report or a quarterly report or
Monthly.
both?
Monthly.
Monthly.
Does anybody else have any questions? Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Well, I make a motion that we approve requesting reports of fees, fines, money collected from each department to be included along with Commissioner's Court minutes, so they may be a matter of record and available to the general public along with the minutes. These are to be included monthly, regular second Tuesday meetings, and I'm very sorry, Tracy.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next one is number 24, and that's report from Road and Bridge Department, Jeffrey Beatrick. Where are you, Jeff?
Right here. Good afternoon. Touch basically, Tracy had some requests for, to shred. I am not firing up the shredder. We're not going to put batteries back in the tractors until it gets green. We start fires in wet year, shredding and re-shredding roads. I'm not going to start a fire with a shredder. I don't care how big the weeds are. But I'm not going to be the one. I'm not going to be the one responsible for burning out the county because they'll start in a hurry with hitting flint rocks and everything else. We just can't do it.
We panic enough every time we see smoke.
Yeah, exactly. The drought is kicking our butt bad. Kennedy gave me our water well there in town to use, and we sucked it dry. I'm looking for water. I went around to some the oil companies and stuff. They told me if I buy my own water pump, I don't want to buy expensive water pump. It's the one that builds.
Is this a request?
It's a request. I'm not a lot of money, but I want to get a water pump. And where I can go to these kids, like to my property, to anybody's property where the oil companies will give me water, where I can get water to repair these roads. We've got to have water. Where the roads get, Kelly gets powdered out completely, that road is gone. You can't plate it, you can't put it back because it's powdered out, and once it turns to powder, it's gone. You have to replace the material in these roads because you don't have no foundation underneath.
Now, on this one, Jeff, we'll have to put that on another agenda item.
Yes, I'm just bringing it
I know,
forward.
you're bringing it to, but I mean, you're asking me to put it on there.
I'm gonna go to October before I get it. I just want to bring it to everybody's attention.
Okay,
I need to get a water pump. And,
But if he has equipment, if he already has an equipment budget, that this can be, there wouldn't be any action, he would just buy it out of that equipment budget. But with regard to the cost associated with it, you have to declare an emergency to amend your budget if you're going to amend your budget outside of your existing fund balance to pay for this cost. Does that make sense?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Sure does.
Anything else, Jeff? I'm sorry.
School bus routes, we're working on them. We got a lot of them that are, this heavy traffic is powdering out these roads. I met with I'm going to kind of back up. I met with a safety engineer yesterday that is doing a lot of putting this big pipe through Karnes County, these two big structural pipes that are going in, the big 32 inches. And he asked me what I requested the company to take care of the county and the people that drive these roads. I told them I want big signs stating that there's construction up ahead. I want their flagmen, if they're crossing equipment, I want flagmen out there because a lot of these roads have a lot of traffic on them, more than we've ever had. I requested that, and the biggest request I told them, if you see dust, I want the dust settled. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I asked him, and he agreed 100% with me that it's for safety of their people and it's for the safety of the public also, especially with our school buses now on these roads. Yesterday I met a school bus on a road where the road is powdered out. At one time I thought it lost vision of the school bus. We're getting in a serious condition here with the roads, and I'm not the answer for it right now. We need help from God. We need some rain. Everybody needs to really start praying for rain a little harder than we've been doing. But we're going to fall apart. We're falling apart.
And
as I
that's my
speak.
concern, Jeff, is the best of those children.
Well, it is, and I'm chasing.
My concern is everybody, but when you say that out
Right.
loud, it gives you.
And right now, I'm trying to chase these places where the school buses go. I know we had a problem here on 354. Y'all, yesterday when the gentleman was in here talking to you, Bob and you about it, we were out there working on the road. We've done got it repaired. And we'll be done this evening with it, and we're moving on to a bus route road after that. Trucks, we're having problems keeping the trucks running. These old trucks are getting old. I got a bunch of them that are broke down, and put a figure the refurbished trucks are not working. They need to go to salvage. And I'm not gonna repair them, because I'll break the county repairing trucks, and we can go out and get another truck cheaper than that, and that's something we're gonna have to look at down the line. I'm not gonna sit there and keep pumping money into something that's old, and when you get through, you still don't have nothing. You're
Jeff, are
wasting
you
money.
advertising for employees?
Yes, we come up, we got, hired, Randy Green, and I hired Robert Busselman, not this Robert Busselman. He don't know how to run a place.
You know, now he's gonna get accused of double dipping.
But, Robert jumped right in. He's an excellent blade man. He's excellent on equipment and stuff. He fell right in, and I don't have to tell him what to do. He knows what to do. That's the good part about him. So, not your problem. I think that's it. Y'all got any questions? But that lady does call you on the weeds out there. They're not that big. They're, weeds are spotted this year. There's places we do need to shred. I'm not putting for shredder.
We can't do it.
No, I'll start a fire with him.
You can
Well,
probably
I
go
knew
prepare,
I
you
knew
start a
you
fire.
were, you can't, and I didn't think you would, but I had to ask the question.
That's right. A week ago, the fire department in Gillette called me out, and I did take county equipment out because we're requested to take county equipment out. I was out there helping them fight the fire, and we brought it under control. And I was there the following day building more fire breaks to control that. I'm out on the weekends with the fire department now too, so we're running forward.
We just pray that doesn't happen. Thanks, Jeff. Pete, annex status?
On the annex, I talked to Carl Rodosky yesterday. He said the benches, the desks, shelves, furniture will be delivered on the 3rd of October. I talked to Lindy this morning, and he said that this Thursday they will deliver equipment. They'll be here to install it next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's on those rolling shelves in the county clerk's and district clerk's office. And there was supposed to be training set up for our air conditioning people today, and it was not. I called yesterday and they didn't have it set up, so I don't know when it's going to take place. I'm still trying to get a day when they're going to have an inspection and give us a certificate of occupancy. But as of now, we have planned to move the district clerk's office on the weekend of the 13th, 14th, 15th. Those days probably.
Of October.
Of October. And we should have, and the other departments can move during the week, possibly before that or after that. Get everyone in there in October. That's the plan for that.
Did you mean me or Robbie on the weekend of the 14th? You said the district clerk, is that?
No, she will be moved during the week.
Okay.
You will be the only one moved on the weekend. We discussed that.
The next one is James on the, I'm sorry.
Can I ask you one question? Do we have insurance on that building?
The one that's gonna get insurance, and I expect that you have to talk to TAC.
Yes, once we have a certificate of occupancy, we can insure it in our name.
That should be under builder's risk.
Until then, it's on the builder's risk on the building. And as soon as we get, I'm pushing to get a certificate of occupancy, as soon as we get that, I'll get it over.
And then the next one, James, we know we just got some kind of trailers because we heard him say it, so. And then Tracy, we got yours. Do you have anything to add to yours, Tracy? The next item on the agenda is to adjourn. I second it. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all.
You're off the record.
Thank you, sir.